The 2024 track and field season has finally concluded with the Diamond League finale out in Brussels. And it was a meeting to say the least. Athletes are tired, beat up, and half the Olympic gold medalists didn't even show up. But we still got to see the conclusion of many of this year's stories. So with a lot more waffling to come, let's take a look at the winners and losers of the 2024 track and field season. And there's no better place to start than with St. Lucia's lone superstar, Julian Alfred. Truthfully, she hasn't been untouchable this year, winning 4 of 7 100-meter races in 2024, even going 50-50 against Sha'carri Richardson. But what she has done is actually win when it counts. But you got to keep in mind what position she came from. Last year, she was an outside medal threat at best, and the year before that, she wasn't even at the World Champs. To now taking the 60-meter world title, the 100-meter Olympic title, 200-meter silver, and executing her main rival Sha'carri Richardson in the Diamond League finale.
Julian Alfred, wow! And where was Sha'carri Richardson?
A near flawless championship season, while also squeezing out personal bests in both events, but significantly dropping her 100-meter from 10.83 to 10.72. And we all know that 10.72 was basically a placeholder, since it was done on a wet track in the rain into a subtle headwind. Alfred was one of the few athletes to grab the 2024 hat-trick, and all in her first year out of college. Obviously, there's an asterisk next to these achievements. The Jamaicans were out of commission due to injury, but that's all part of the game. I've said it once before and I'll say it again. Once she adjusted to the NCAA, she dominated. So considering this is her rookie professional season, the writing's on the wall, baby. Alfred for president. Now let's talk our next winner. Let's sell it to Bogo. Because I actually like the kid, contrary to popular belief. The men's sprints has been the most competitive they've ever been, but I think it's safe to say Tebogo walked out of the flames as the standout winner of 2024. Especially if we look at this from the perspective he is a 200-meter runner. First he opened with a 300-meter world record. Straight stupid already. Destroyed the 200-meter in Paris, celebrating into a 19.46 second time, making him the youngest Olympic gold medalist in the men's modern sprints. Went 9.86 in the 100-meter to finish 6th, which is just insane. And he ran the fastest 400-meter splits at the Olympics in the 4x400. That being after 3 rounds of the 100, 3 rounds of the 200, medaling in both and going inhumanly fast in the 200 especially. This guy just has legs that won't stop spinning. Like seriously, they don't stop. 1964 in Lausanne, 1955 in Zurich. It's not a stretch to say that Tebogo revived what was looking to be a pretty pathetic year in the men's sprints. But he did finally get some payback in the form of Kenny Bednarek, who finally got his first major win ever after his 5th 19.6 or better performance this year at the Diamond League finale.
Can he get there this time though? Bednarek is going to hang out in front. Bednarek wins it this time. 1967.
But truly, the least respected winner this year would be by far Miralady Paulino in the women's 400 meter. World leader by 0.4 of a second, Olympic title, Diamond League title, cut her PB down by 0.6 of a second to become the 4th fastest all time, undefeated across 10 races, and looked dang untouchable while doing it. But most people just ignore how crazy her season was because they're too busy singing McLaughlin's praises. She even ran faster at Brussels. Yeah, okay, she did. But neither of them ran impressive times, both just went out there to win their races. Cindy ran a middle distance spikes, Paulino went easy at the line. I get it, speculation is fun, I do it all the time. But consider this, Paulino's PB is over half a second better than Sydney's in the 400 flat. Do you even know what that looks like on the track? Until Sydney is running 400 flats properly, we gotta look at PBs and what happened in the past. Another athlete who pulled off the indoor Olympic and Diamond League hat-trick is of course Armand Duplantis, except he won the European champs too, and a 100-meter race on top of that. Clearly, winning is easier than breathing for young, oh so young Mondo Duplantis. He went undefeated through 2024 with an average winning margin of 24.24 centimeters. And that's just across his 4 championship wins. That's f***ed. Although what impresses me most is his monstrous drive for competition. Consider what happens to most athletes in his position. McLaughlin barely likes the sport. A thing Mo was untouchable for a while, she fell off. Even Bolt lost the will to fight. It's something we don't like to talk about a lot, but if he seriously had it in him, he could have gone at it winning for a few more years. Yet Duplantis loves to show up, continuing to pulverize the other pole vaulters into little specks of dust. A true psychopath really, the ideal athlete. He competed 15 times this year, attempted world records at half his competitions, broke the world record 3 times, and set up 100-meter beef side quests just to win those 2. And funnily enough, that's probably grown his credibility more than his ungodly abilities in the pole vault. Did you know, this was Ryan Krause's worst season in 5 years, and it was the first time he hasn't thrown over 23 meters in 4. Yet he still won World Indoors, took the Olympic gold, but did barely get edged out in his first championship setting since March of 2022 at World Indoors. And it took Leonardo Fabri having to throw so far, he's legitimately one of the best of all time.
From the Italian, away to our left.
Krause is just that hard to beat. He has to be at his weakest, and you have to be one of history's finest. So you could consider this an underwhelming season in terms of raw distance. But he's 31, had his first down season in a while, and still walked away with more wins and silverware than any other shot putter on the planet. And then there's the world record no one saw coming. Don't you even lie to me.
Attempt 210. Have a guess what happens here. Yes, he gets it. Mahuchik clears 2 meters and 10.
Mahuchik at age 22 pulled off one of the greatest high jump seasons we've ever seen. Mainly because world records in this event tend to happen only every 30 years or so. She kicked off her campaign with a 204, the highest season opener we've ever seen in history, to choke a bit at World Indoors, failing to get over 2 meters, yielding gold to Australia's Ollie Slagers. Just to rally the troops and not lose a single competition again. European title, 37-year-old world record cracked, Olympic title, Diamond League title, finishing her season with 9 wins and 1 lone loss. Literally a once-in-a-generation high jump season. But I stand my ground in saying this record couldn't have been predicted. Her second highest performance this year was that opening 204 in January. That 210 was just freakish, and I'm in the camp of it could very well stand for another 30 plus years. The men's 800 meter just won this entire year. Just take a look at the all-time list. It's a 2024 invasion, and even though less than half a second separates these 5 guys, Emmanuel Wanyonyi won everything that mattered. Olympic gold, world lead, second fastest athlete in history, the Diamond League final, and he did it while being the youngest in the field by 5 years. He turned 20 this August, which makes it even more incredible that he was only 19 when he finished second at last year's World Championships. Yeah, progress isn't linear, but it doesn't have to be when you have 5 years on your competition. It's not hard to predict the future sometimes, and Wanyonyi being the future 800 meter world record holder, I'd bet at least one of my feet on it. And to finish off our main winners, Valerie Allman couldn't be stopped this year. The Superwoman walked out of 2024 with the Olympic title, Diamond League title, and an undefeated season of 11 wins to 0 losses. But if you can recall, it really wasn't supposed to be this easy. In April, Yaimia Perez threw a world lead so egregious, we hadn't seen anything like it since 1998. But of course, Perez didn't throw over 70 meters again, and we can conclude the wind helped a lot. And now for some bonus winners. Okay, I gotta pay my respects. The highest jumper in the world is a white man, Hamish Kerr. Over the last couple seasons, he was an outside middle threat. Not even a middle winner, just a threat. To being the guy to beat this year. World Indoor gold, Olympic gold, won more Diamond League meets than any other jumper this year, on the men's side that is. Most athletes work their way up the medals. Hamish didn't get out of groups at the last 2 World Championships, so he just skipped all that noise and won everything. Rai Benjamin went from bridesmaid to married, flipping the script this year entirely, going undefeated, putting Vorholm in the loser category. And Grant Holloway became the GOAT of the 110 hurdles, World Indoor and Olympic title, most sub-13s in history, and dude has won everything for the last 4 years. But he did snub the Diamond League final in a power move. Now it's time to talk about this year's losers. By popular demand, let's start with the 100 meters. Sha'carri Richardson didn't live up to expectations. Ignoring what happened at Brussels with this atrocity of a race, Sha'carri actually ran pretty well this year, knocking down 7 10.8 performances or under, only took L's to Alfred, walked away with an Olympic silver at that. I mean, undoubtedly she underperformed compared to the 2023 expectations. But if you want to talk the embodiment of not living up to expectations, Ferdinand Omanyala. The men's 100 meter was chaos. You could really mention a few names here, like Christian Coleman, but someone had to miss out on the US team, and even Oblique Seville, after being in everyone's medal picks, just to miss the podium again, even coming dead last. But it's hard to say anyone let us down more than Omanyala. He has built up the now indisputable reputation of being a hometown hero. He was the first to go sub 9.8 this year, in early June with an incredible 9.79 in Kenya, filling fans with a sense of false hope again, just to barely dip under 10 seconds every other race, not make it out the semis in Paris, and now his top 5 fastest times have all come inside of Kenya. If there was ever a sign of how much altitude can help a sprinter, Omanyala is it in the flesh. Next, we set Femke Bol up to fail. It was hard not to get sucked into the hype. She broke the indoor 400 meter world record early this year, again. She ran her first sub 51 400 hurdle time, then followed it up with a more credible 51.3 in London, right before Paris. But really looking back, is 50.65 and 50.95 even comparable? And let's be real, her true personal best is that 51.3 in London, because the 50.95 was run at altitude. So of course she got crushed. We had built her up to be the McLaughlin killer, but in reality she was always just fodder. What we didn't expect though was 3rd place. To be fair though, Bol runs a lot, so it can be said she only wet the sheets at the Olympics. She even beat Cockrell twice post-Olympics, one of those times being at the Diamond League finale. And you can't completely count out the fact she ran some stunning times, no doubt, early in the season. Yet after this year, I guarantee people will not be so quick to jump on the Femke Bol ship. Okay, now hear me out. Josh Kerr. How does a guy who broke a world record still fall below par? Well, the great rival to Jakob Ingebrigtsen talks like he wins it all, but just kind of did a lot of dodging this year. Things did start great. He backed the talk, broke the 2-mile world record, won the indoor 3K at World Indoors. Then it gets weird. He won the Prefontaine Mile in convincing fashion against Old Ingy, disappeared for 2 months as Ingebrigtsen went on to win double gold at Euros in the 5K and 1500, then showed up to Paris, got second to Hocker's surprise win, good result, can't fault him for that, then shit the bed entirely in Zurich, placing 5th at the Olympic rematch, and dodged the Diamond League final to run on the roads, while Ingebrigtsen took out the win there as well. It was a really weird season with some mixed results, but when he raced the best, he didn't actually win. Josh Kerr came in yelling and stamping his feet, and he left without a sound. So coming back to the women's high jump, a near perfect season on Mahuchik's end means Nicola Olieslagers knocked the bar off. Olieslagers came out of 2023 blazing hot, technically jumping 203 back to back, just to never see those heights again for the rest of 2024. And to be brutally honest, Mahuchik winning Paris and the Diamond League final with a 2-meter jump or less was daylight robbery right outside of a police station. So yeah, while Mahuchik breaking the world record was literally a once-in-a-lifetime experience as a high jump fan, besides that meet, Olieslagers should have been more competitive. And lastly, Karsten Warholm. Kind of like Olieslagers, for Rai Benjamin to go undefeated means Warholm lost every matchup against him this year, which to be fair was only 2, the Oslo Diamond League and the Paris Olympic Games. But Warholm's lost season goes deeper. We know what Warholm is capable of, and he is most certainly a freak at his event. But unlike Sydney McLaughlin, he outed himself and showed us his abilities do not translate. He came second at World Indoors on the 400 flat, got slapped by Duplantis in an exhibition 100 meter sprint, and even then was only barely within a second of his own world record in the 4 hurdles. Did he illegitimize his event? Honestly, maybe in the eyes of some. But did he underperform? Hell yes. And those were my picks for the winners and losers of the 2024 track and field season. Well, the picks that made the video anyway. So comment who you had, because I know there are countless athletes who qualify for both lists. Or, just straight up argue with me. I love it. I really do. I read every single comment. So subscribe and consider supporting the channel on Patreon. I don't really offer much yet, but trust me, the off-season videos are about to go hard.